I'd like to welcome everyone back to the 5th Annual Talladega County High School Basketball Media Day here at the Talladega County Board of Education. Next up, we have the B.D. Comer Memorial High School Tigers. Representing the Lady Tigers, we have Coach Robbie Hardy. Player representatives, we have Raven McCain. I think you've been here all 5 years? I believe you have. And Molly Walker. The Lady Tigers compete in Class 3A Area 7. As for the boys, we have Coach Michael Hill in his second year at his alma mater. Representing the Tigers, we have Raphael Johnson and DJ Jeffries. Once again, they compete in Class 3A Area 7. They open their season on Thursday at Children's.
Coach, you just talked about the young men and young ladies that you brought with you today.
All right, we have Raven. She was kind of the leader for us last year for the girls team. So a lot of expectations for her this year, and a lot of growth has happened too, and maturity, and I'm excited to see how that carries over to the court. And Molly was one of our quiet role players last year and ended up being a leader just because of her play. And looking for her to be a big post player this year, step up in a big way, play a big key role. And we have some young faces coming up, and I'm really excited about what they're going to be able to do this year.
Yes, sir. So Raphael Johnson with me and and DJ Jeffries. So these two young men, I had 10 ball players last year. 8 of them were seniors. These are the other 2 varsity athletes that I have that participated in varsity sports last year. So these guys are going to be leaned on a lot this year to be leaders for me and for our team. It's a lot of things. So it's the same system that we had. My JV, I coached the JV as well. I was blessed to do that. So there's no new terminology. But as far as the competitiveness is different on the varsity level. And I've only had two varsity athletes to be in that atmosphere to play area games, to play big games against like the tough games when you go walk in the Winterboro and stuff like that. So these gentlemen were part of that, and I'm going to reward them in that fact. That's why we're here today.
Talk about starting the season late. No, it's a blessing on one hand, but it's like a burden on the other a little bit.
So yes, sir, it is starting every coach I call, like we were supposed to play Montfort today, and they tell you when you cancel games, it's a good problem to have because you're playing football. So the burden is we only practice one day, which was yesterday. So we'll have another opportunity to practice today and tomorrow to get ready for Thursday. But it's a hard issue to have, being able to start late. But at the same time, I think it helps the competitive nature because out of our 10, we have 9 ball players, 5 play varsity football. So the competitive nature will always be there. So now we got that taste in our mouth. Now we know what it takes to get there. So again, like most coaches say, it's a good problem to have, being that we started so late.
Yeah, it is. It's we were both caught up with football and having that still going on, but the girls did a pretty good job of when we did have gym time, getting there at all the different times. Like when we might have a late day or something like that, they did a very good job of getting there to try to get work in. So we weren't too far behind the 8 ball when the season started, but I mean, like Coach Hill said, we got real lucky to be able to move one game back so we can get some more practice in and just kind of grow from there and start to really kind of mesh together as a team. It's awfully hard to do that over a couple days. You need some games too to do that. So, but luckily we get a little extra time to make that happen and see what we can do.
Just talk about having a new team and replacing 8. That's a little tough, Coach. Just talk about that process.
I got you. So I'm replacing everybody. So again, these young men here were big role players. So I'm the man on the end. DJ Jeffries was a sub last year behind a big guy named Brent Beard. So we talked about it on the way up here. He made all county last year. He was first teamer. So he had a big role in the offense, defensively and offensively. Ralph was a big part of our team last year, coming off the bench, being athletic in the middle of our press, just running the floor. He'll get about 6 steals a game and get 8 to 12 points. So he was a big role player for our team coming off the bench. But everybody else on my team last year, I had 8 seniors who played ball. They all played. And they had different roles and different aspects. This new team that I have, everybody on my team last year could dribble the basketball, including these 2 guys. I don't have many guys who can dribble the basketball with both hands this year. But at the same time, we're growing. You understand what I'm saying? So the run and gun that I like to do is going to be a little different. We'll slow it down, and we'll be a better half-court team than that team that I had last year. But the team last year, I didn't really have to have offense because we ran. And like I said, everybody could dribble the basketball. So just starting over, like Coach said, like you get better, really learn. Thursday is going to help us. Our first game is Thursday. We learn out who we really are is going to be on Thursday. What we have to see, what we can do. We played in summer ball, but the lights are different when you have real jerseys on and you're doing stuff like that. And you compete against other teams who've had 2 or 3 games under their belt, and you're coming off the football field and just kind of see what you got to work with.
Okay. Man, just talk about your expectations for your team, Coach. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the expectations for the girls team was very high this year. We only had 2 seniors that we lost, and they really weren't huge role players. I mean, they were bench players. They came and played a little bit of role, but we didn't really rely on them too much. We had a lot of youth last year, and like I said before, my expectations for Raven this year are very high. Also, we have Anaya Dates coming in as an 8th grader. She played JV last year. She's going to be a main ball handler also. And I have a lot of expectations for them to get it done. And they've all played together for a while. They know exactly the system we're doing. It's the same system we ran last year. So I'm not having to replace too much. Now, we did have some key losses as far as some girls that were going to play for us. But I feel like the girls that we have, they're going to step up, and they understand what's expected out of them. You know, I get a lot of help from Coach Hill. The guys will stay in, practice late a little bit so we can get a scrimmage in with them. Or they'll come in a little early so we can get us, when we can end with a scrimmage against them. So it's been a very, very good, unique situation where I can get these girls some competition that a lot of times they're not going to see that level of throughout the year, especially getting to the scrimmage the guys team. So my expectations are pretty high for them, and I expect there to be some growing pains and a learning curve when we first start because we hadn't practiced for so long and we hadn't really had any games. But as the season goes on and progresses, I'm really excited to see how they mesh together as a team and the things they're going to be able to do.
And what changes have you guys seen in PB Plumber athletics overall? So like things are really starting to go in the right direction now.
Yes, sir. So with that being said, with our coaching staff, we wanted to change the program. It wasn't about the sports. We wanted to change the program. The culture has changed at our school. If you can't see it from the outside looking in, it's an excitement about everything. If you just came to one of our games, we're not telling you to come to all of them. We want you to, but at the end of the day, it's a different atmosphere. Kids walk different in our school now. The talk is different. So that's the changes that we have. It's about the culture. It's about being relevant all the time. Like it's not being like in the last few years with myself. I'm returning because I went to BB Comer. It was at that time we were still relevant. We were still playing teams around here. We were still being competitive. When you got done playing us, you knew you played us. So that's what we wanted to be this year, which started with football. We can put it there. It started with football. Last year we were playing teams in football and we weren't competitive. This year, the mindset that I had, and I would tell some of the coaches, hey, if we can get to halftime and we're still talking football. So when we made it to halftime, we were still talking football. When we were playing the Randolph Counties, when we were playing the Walter Wilburys. That's how you be competitive. That's how you get that nature and that notion that, hey man, they're not the same people and they're not the same team. And now kids like the Raphael Johnsons and the Devontae Carmichaels who still play football, those guys, they're different leaders for the school now because they can be competitive, because they know what it takes to be there and how to get there. You know what I'm saying? So that's just those guys being in those situations helped us in school, and I really think it's going to trickle to every sport after.
Without a doubt, like you said, the culture change has been huge, and as a coaching staff across all the sports, you really see all the coaches have the same mindset, the same idea of what they want to get done and where we want to take it as a program. And then the kids have really bought into it. Our athletes have really accepted it and took hold of what we were trying to accomplish across the board on everything. And then the ones who didn't want to, or the ones who had the issues that couldn't really follow, they're not issue anymore, because if you're not with us and you step aside, we're going to take who wants to be with us. And luckily we have a core group of athletes across the board in all the sports that have really just accepted that role and seen what we're trying to do and see where we're trying to get to. And it's starting to show. You're starting to see the hard work pay off for a lot of them. they got in the weight room. You start to see kids live in the weight room more because they understand what it takes. They understand you got to put in the hours there in the off season to get better for your season. And we're starting to see more kids play different sports throughout the school, which is always huge to see kids play multiple sports and not just specializing. Because then you start to see that same mindset here across the board, and it infiltrates all aspects of the school. And I'm just really excited to see where we can take it, the athletic program as a whole, and these kids can go, because it's really, we do a lot of the work, but it's really on them to get out there and perform, and they're doing a very good job of it right now.
Coach Hart, you talk about getting your girls a chance to see competition, you love this competition. In the county tournament, you're going to see a good bit of competition. There's been a change in the guard in the past couple seasons. Silicaca, Talladega, now it's Childersburg, PC Central are kind of the lead dogs of the pack. But with the expectations being as high as they are for your team, how do you feel about throwing your hat in the ring as far as pushing some of those teams?
Anytime you enter a tournament like that or anything like that, you're expecting your team to kind of get out there and perform. And it's going to be, a big test will be this week, this Thursday, to see where they set. And I feel like if the girls mesh together like they're supposed to, they really grasp what we're doing offensively and defensively, I think we have a good shot to upset some people. Not just upset some people, make some noise, and not just be a one and done team like last year, the year before, the year before that. I really feel like we have a better chance this year than we did last year to make some noise in that county tournament and to start to become more relevant in girls basketball. And I really feel like the team that we have can do that.
And with that being said, we all work together. We all kind of do the same stuff. So the girls last year were tied. It was a three-way tie for first place. They almost won the area from one game. They lost in the area by like 5 or 6 points, and they only had 5 ball players. You understand what I'm saying? So this year they don't have a senior on the team. So everything that we do now builds for the future. The girls are going to be really good. Like I said, it was a three-way tie for first place. Point spread, and something happened where the girls didn't get to host. This year the girls are going to be really good, and they're going to be really young. So as far as, like Coach said, throwing the hat in the ring, they're going to be up there. So just look out, just pay attention.
Man, how does that situation motivate the girls going into this year that you were so close to hosting the area at Comer? How does that motivate you guys?
Well, we have a lot of doubt with our team. People don't see us making it to where that we expect to make it this year. So us being almost tied for first place last year, then we're going to get it this year.
That motivates us to work harder, improve, and since we were so close last year, means if we were that close last year, it gives us another year to improve and do better.
Yeah, I will let you do much.
I'm the oldest.
Another group, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Just talk about what you want to accomplish in your 18th year at Comer, and what you want to see from this team.
Well, what I expect from my team is chemistry. We got to build our chemistry for us to get where we want to be. But this year, I feel like me being in the paint, looking for passes, not me just scoring all the points. I feel like my team's going to do good because I'll lead them. If I'm doing good in the game, they're going to do good. If I have a bad attitude, then I know they're going to have a bad attitude. So really, I just got to keep my head up and not let anything get in the way of me playing good for my team.
All right. Guys, just how can we get it back to Coach Hill days? Where they had running and gunning and Comer basketball was a show. How can we get back to those days?
We get back to those days while just competing, going hard every time you get the ball, see the court, just playing aggressive defense, playing offense, getting rebounds, pushing up the court, just playing your ball, not doing what anybody else says, just being yourself and being aggressive.
Well, going back to that, being competitive and being coachable, not having to be told something twice, listen to the coach, compete, play hard, do the whistle.
The success that you had in football just let you know that you got to compete in everything you do now, or what do you got taking that?
It makes us feel like we can do anything. Like football season, we lost a couple key players. Like we came out strong. So going to basketball season, we can do something special. Just compete, do our jobs.
I say we can do, since we seen in football, everybody doubted us. They didn't think we was gonna make it past the first round, but they see we won, we got it done, so we can do the same thing in basketball. Even though we lost players, I was there with those players, so I know what happened last year. I can try to make it happen this year.
All right. And Coach, I know it's a new team, but what are your goals? What do you want to see from this team?
So to see from the teams again, like my boys are kind of speaking my language. I want to be competitive. So everything we do, if you can compete and be there towards the end, you always got a chance to win. So again, it's another year to change the culture. A lot of guys set all these goals. They want to score 1,000 points. I want to get 200 wins, like my coach sitting over here. But our culture, and you shouldn't have to teach it. You shouldn't have to get there, but we are. So we're going to embrace it. We're having to teach kids how to compete and how to still be competitive in the game. You don't have to go teach the Nick Saban ball players how to compete. They just got to be there towards the end to play. You understand what I'm saying? So as long as my guys are standing saying, "Hey man, we always got a chance." These guys in football, hopefully they can carry that competitive nature, because our guys know how to compete. To start the year off, we started off with Winterboro, was 12-0 quick, and then we go to double overtime, and then we beat the Pleasant Valleys because we start down. We go down and we go to Fulton there, and we're down 16-0, which becomes 19. So those guys know how to compete. So again, I'm gonna stress it in basketball this year that, hey man, my goal is, hey man, we're competing and we're in every game. So next year we're not talking about competing. Again, we want to execute. We want to win ball games. We want to do what we accomplished to do. We want to go play hard. But you shouldn't have to say play hard. But we are. So and we're going to embrace it. Hey man, we're going to play hard every time, and we're going to get to the end in the fourth quarter in the last possession, and hopefully we can control our fate to that point. But as long as if we do everything we can up until that last minute where we're just competing and playing hard, we should be in every ball game that we play. So again, I said last year we have all new ball players. We only have 2, but these guys I got this year know how to compete. They know how to play. We still got size. We're gonna be in ball games as long as we compete from the first few minutes to the end.
What lessons do you take from this basketball?
What lessons? Just you can never be too prepared. I think that's with him. You can never be too prepared. Going the extra mile as far as being prepared and being where you need to be. The game is won before it's played. Everything you do really is before it's played, and that's why I try to stress to my guys. We practice hard. We don't practice all the time. I really pull my whistles out is when we run sprints. You're gonna go in the gyms and you're not gonna get a call. You're gonna do everything that you need to be. But I promise you, if you listen, I'm gonna try to set you up for success. I'm gonna try to over prepare you. So if they don't show you something, and as long as we come in prepared, as long as we practice hard, as long as we know what we want to accomplish and we're prepared for what you might do, we'll be all right.
Coach Hale, we'll talk about competing in your area a little bit. Coach Harvey got a chance to talk about how close they were with the 3-way tie and whatnot. Just talk about the other compete against schools y'all have.
So I was in a 2-way tie for last place. So let's talk about the area. So at the beginning, we lucked up last year because we were playing teams who were still in the playoffs. So we got the wins early that we needed. These teams come out of playoffs. And we gave a couple games away. We're up on a couple teams we were supposed to, but we get the coin toss and we get the third spot. So our area, we have Davil, Randolph County, and Beulah. Teams the only team that's still young with us is Davil, but they're still competitive. Our area is gonna be pretty tough. But at the same time, these guys that I have, they're in the same system. So as far as us being competitive in the area, we should finish near the top. That's what I'm saying right now, and that's even with a new team. We should finish near the top. We still should compete. The Davils are going to be stacked because they have 2 young guys, one a junior, 2 juniors who can play competitive ball on the next level. Randolph County, again, you still never know what they have because they they're a competitive school. So with every sport, they always compete. So they're going to be strong physically no matter how you play them. Even if they can't shoot the ball at this time, they'll find another way to do it. But they're still in the playoffs for football right now as we speak. So the Beulah fell off and they lost a couple guys there. But the coach down there has been coaching almost longer than I've been living. So he's going to have them prepared. But as far as where I see us in the area, we should finish near the top and be ready to go play after our season's over.